Hello. Hello. Good morning, everybody. I, on behalf of the institution Jawaharlal College, welcome our resource persons, Dr. Dilip BC and Mr. Santanu Sahu, Santanu Mahanti, and other participants with my colleagues and friends. I inaugurate today's webinar and hope that this will immensely benefit our students and other participants. And I am very much glad to know that one of our students, an alumnus of this college, Santanu, has been invited to be a resource person. So also another, I would like to say that a good academician who is not my direct student, but I consider him as a student also. He has also agreed to be a speaker on this occasion. So on behalf of the institution, really, we are thankful to both the resource persons, and I hope that this webinar will be a grand success, and we'll start the proceeding now. I officially inaugurate today's webinar. Now, I request my colleague and student, Professor Lakshman Bhoi, Head of the Department of Botany, to introduce our first resource person, Dr. DKBC, Mr. Bhoi.
Hello. Subhajit, hello. Hello. Okay. Reverend Principal, Dr. Debraj Mishra, sir, our esteemed guest, Dr. Dilip Kumar BC. I feel privileged to give a brief introduction to our first resource person, Dr. Dilip Kumar BC. Dr. BC, sir, is currently working as an assistant professor in biotechnology at Ramadevi Women's University, Bhubaneswar. Before joining as assistant professor, he was working as a postdoctoral research fellow at 3BS Research Group, European Center of Excellency in Tissue Engineering and Regenerative Medicine, University of Minho, Portugal. He finished his Master of Technology in Medical Biotechnology and PhD in Biotechnology from Department of Biotechnology, IIT Madras, Chennai. He finished his BSc in Zoology from Anchal College, Padampur, and MSc in Life Science from Sambalpur University. He is awarded with 2 Indian project grants, including pilot project grant for cancer biology from DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, and SERB, that is Science and Engineering Research Board Startup Research Grant. Also, he is awarded with an European grant by Foundation of Science and Technology, Portugal, as principal investigator. He has 15 science-listed journal publications of international repute, which are Advanced Healthcare Materials, Nano Medicine, Journal of Materials, Chemistry B, Public Library of Science,
Hello.
Sorry, we have arrived a sudden internet problem, and now my colleague is could not able to connect. That is why I'm here. Yeah, actually, his research, some introduction left. That is his research about Professor Dilip Kumar Bishi, Dr. Dilip Kumar Bishi. His research interests include use of natural origin biomaterials for micro-scale tissue engineering, such as development of bio-artificial micro-liver model, which are being applied for high throughput screening of drug-induced hepatotoxicity. Dr. BC sir, now the platform is yours. Dr. BC sir.
Okay, thank you so much, madam, for the kind introduction.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible. You may continue.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank the organizer of this webinar for, thank you. Yeah, so my sincere gratitude to Professor Mishra, who was my indirect teacher, of course, at Anchal College Padampur, a great friend of my father, who was also at Anchal College Padampur. So my sincere gratitude to him for inviting me to this webinar. Also, my sincere gratitude goes to the IQSC team of Jawaharlal College, Patnagar, and Professor Bhoi for the kind introduction. So with this, I would like to open my presentation. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, so I'm going to talk about the research mindset that we can ignite in the undergraduate biologists. Since this webinar is mostly focused on the undergraduate students of Jawaharlal College, Patnagar, I decided that I should talk something that will be somewhat like motivating the research mindset in the biology students of your college and also the participants of this webinar. Maybe some of our students from Ramadevi University has also joined. And I would like to open up about this thing because this is one of the important topic considering the national education policy of 2020. So as of now, we do not have any kind of research setup in the Indian universities, and that is a big problem if we compare to outside universities. And in my presentation, I would like to focus particularly on this particular subheadings, like how can we motivate students for research, particularly the undergraduate students. So I'll be talking introduction about this particular motivation for research. Then I'll be focusing particularly on the undergraduate research. What is the scenario in India and how it is happening in abroad? What is the gap that is present in Indian context of the universities and the colleges, particularly undergraduate colleges? And I would like to highlight the differences between the international scenario. Then I'll be talking a little bit about making the mindset of undergraduate students to take up research. How can we motivate the students as a teacher or maybe some kind of motivators to take up research? Because this is one of the interesting field and we must focus on this. Apart from this, I'll be talking a little bit about the opportunities that are available for undergraduate biologists, maybe from botany, geology, biotechnology background. So I'll be focusing a little bit on those internships available, kind of fellowships, career growth they have, and the kind of job scenario, particularly in Indian context. Also, I would like to highlight that how I have progressed myself in this research line, because I was also an undergraduate student of biology, as introduced by Professor Voi, that I did my BSc in geology from a rural college of Padampur, and how I took up research and finally ended up becoming a hardcore researcher in some of the interesting field of biology and biotechnology. I'll be highlighting my achievements and my research work that I have been doing even now at Ramadevi Women's University. And finally, I will conclude. So let's talk about this. So what is basically research? Like why research is so much important for an undergraduate biologist? We all have some kind of creativity in our mind when you do some kind of practicals, when you view the nature, we all have some kind of intuition in our mind that what may be happening. So those kind of intuition, some kind of creativity that is happening in our mind when you observe something, that is somewhat categorized as a research. So by definition, research is a systematic inquiry to describe, explain, predict, and control the observed phenomenon. May it be a natural one, may it be the one that we do in the laboratory. So when you do this kind of take up research, so this is going to contribute to larger context. For example, if you talk about the scenario of COVID-19 that has now created a lot of havoc, not only in India, but globally, the only solution that was available is the pure research to develop a vaccine. And I'm sure the next speaker will be describing great details about this scenario, how the vaccine have been developed. So I would like to highlight the importance of research. Not only the medicine people, not only the engineers, not only some kind of finance people, not the politicians, they could not help in controlling this particular havoc called COVID pandemic. But this was only in the hand of biological researchers who were putting their effort day and night so that by today we have some vaccines available in India and even in the US like Moderna vaccine or maybe from Pfizer. So this is only the breakthrough
Sir, actually not audible, sir. Sir, hello.
wait a second, sorry, I got
Yes,
disconnected.
yes, sir. Now you are audible.
Yeah, there was some connection issue from my end also. Sorry.
Okay, sir. Now you can continue, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Is it visible now, the slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I was talking about the undergraduate research and its importance in building of the nation, and I was giving the example of the COVID-19 pandemic, how exactly it has created issues in the global context, not only in India. And it was solely the responsibility of the researchers who has taken day and night effort to develop a vaccine. Okay, so I would just like to highlight the importance of researchers and how it is so important in shaping the lifestyle of the society, not only healthcare but even many other issues that I'll be discussing in the upcoming slides. So what is undergraduate research is that it is an inquiry or investigation that is conducted by an undergraduate student, mostly BSc students of geology, botany, biotechnology, that can make an original intellectual or creative contribution to the discipline. So most of those students may be in Patnagar College or maybe in Ramadevi University or any other colleges of Odisha and India. We do not have a proper setup. But how can we somehow have all this kind of research intuition in our mind? So that I'll be discussing a little bit with regard to National Education Policy 2020 in a coming slide. So before going to that, we should have some kind of research interest in our mind. Like what particular class or what particular topic is somehow inspiring us. May it be some kind of invertebrate biology, may it be some kind of bryophytes in botany. When we see some kind of life cycle or some development, whether it is inspiring us, whether that can be helpful to the society in a larger context. So when we have some kind of creative mindset in our mind, that we can take forward and do our research. So I have also some kind of plant-based research data that I'll be showing in the upcoming slides, that I have taken up biotechnological research using botany. So some of the interesting approaches that I have taken, of course, I was a student of geology, but I had a minor in botany. So that was also inspiring me once upon a time when I was a student. And when I became a researcher now, and I have the capacity to get the grants, I have written a project now to Department of Biotechnology, and I also got sponsored of around 35 lakhs. And that is mostly involving some kind of plant-based macromolecules that is somehow killing the cancer cells. So I'll be showing those kind of data in the upcoming slides, just highlighting the importance of research here. So when I'm talking about undergraduate research, there is very important thing about the mindset. Like this is the only starting phase of a student's career. Most in the first year of their college, in the UG, geology, botany, or biotechnology, they have to fix a mindset. And this is one of the articles that I found in the literature, that growing a growth mindset. It is a survey kind of literature that people have found out, and they have somehow assessed how and why the undergraduate students mindset change. So this is where you can inculcate some kind of research mindset in your brain. So if you have taken up your mind towards becoming an IAS officer, towards becoming a researcher, or towards becoming a academician, it all depends how you shape your career from now. So everyone has decided their career as of now for sure. But since this presentation is mostly about igniting the mindset of undergraduate students for researchers, I would like to highlight only on the research aspect. Okay. So in this particular thing, we will be somehow seeing how exactly we can make a mindset in the undergraduate students, mostly by organizing some seminars of current interest, maybe some kind of COVID-19 scenario, maybe some kind of Nobel Prize talks. All this kind of talks will give motivations in the students, and those students can take up research as a career. So all these seminars, talks, then some kind of research interest discussion, maybe visit to some kind of research labs in Odisha and India, that will give some kind of boost in the mindset of undergraduate students. Apart from that, if the students wants to develop research mindset personally, they can definitely contact the researchers or professors in India and abroad with a somewhat formal mail, and they can contact whether they can do research in their labs. So this is about developing the mindset at undergraduate level. So what are the benefits of undergraduate research? Why some students will take up undergraduate research at BSc level? So it will somehow help in engaging the and empowering the students in some specific skill setting that is hands-on learning on a particular topic, may it be botany, zoology, or biotechnology. It can also help developing some kind of experience in learning and mentoring some kind of relationship with the faculties. They can learn from their supervisors how exactly research is being done, what are the skill set the teacher has set, and how he has developed as a researcher or an academician. So they can learn it. Apart from these, they can make some kind of creative thinking, problem solving skills. They can develop self-confidence, and also they can develop intellectual independence. Apart from this, there will be some kind of innovation oriented culture, which is very much important in Indian scenario. If you compare to China, you may be seeing that they are very high in innovation index. But being somewhat like similar population in India, we are not contributing so much to the society growth. We are just finishing our graduation, masters, then we are somehow jobless. Few are ending in some kind of innovations, patent filing, all kind of things. But if you see America, China, and all kind of countries, they are very much high in all this kind of innovation index. So why not we can contribute also? So we can inculcate in the mindset of undergraduate students this research and innovation idea that they can take up further, and they can contribute to the growth of the nation. And apart from this, on a personal context, the student can also have their candidacy for scholarship. They can get stipends, they can get fellowships, and in a longer run, they can get some kind of employments also, maybe in some biotech industries, or become an academician or researchers. And they have some kind of lifelong professional and academic connections with the research. This is the benefits of a undergraduate research. Now, talking a little bit about the context of Indian research versus global scenario. If you see these particular two graphs, one is talking about the quantity of research that is being done globally. If you see, China is always ahead. Then India comes in third rank. This is, I'm just talking about the quantity. How much of publications we have been doing in a particular year. So this is one of the statistics done in 2018, and it shows that India ranks third in total number of publications. Out of these publications, some may be redundant, some maybe some in some kind of predatory journals. So this is not very much sufficient for the growth. We must focus on the quality. What kind of quality research we do, what kind of publications, what quality of publications, what kind of patents that is applied to the human development, or some kind of performance of the society. If you look for the Indian context, there is no name available in the quality. You can check this particular graph. We do not have a particular qualitative publications compared to US and China. So why they are producing so much good qualitative research and also quantitative research? Why not India? So this is one of the biggest problem that is still lacking in our Indian policymakers. They must focus on fostering some kind of financial contributions to this research domain. So now just talking a little bit about how much a particular country spends on their R&D. If you see, US is spending very high, and China and Japan also. But India is somewhere lacking behind, only $48 billion per annum, which is very much insufficient compared to our larger mass. So what is the solution? How can we become a global superpower in research? So in this context, I have collected some information that was mostly published in a literature, and they have suggested now how exactly we can be a superpower. So this is the context of biology science research, particularly in India. And the best one that we have is in National Science Center for Biological Science in Bangalore. This is the best biological science that we have in India as of now. So apart from this, we have some institutes that offers masters and PhD degrees, and we have so many universities that offers both masters and PhD degrees. But when you talk about undergraduate research, which is the theme of today's webinar, I would like to highlight that only few of the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, they are only offering BScs with research background, and some of the known IITs. I think IIT Bombay is offering BSc in biological science, and IIT Guwahati. So these are the two IITs that are offering 4-year BTech degrees in biological sciences with the research backup. But when you talk about the larger mass in our Indian context about the colleges, we have almost about 18,000 colleges in India, including Jawaharlal College, Patnagarh. So in these kind of colleges, we do not have some kind of research setup. Only we have some kind of undergraduate degrees, but they are not sufficient to boost the research mindset, as I was talking about this kind of scenarios. So what I would like to say that there have been few known leaders in Indian biology who has been also some kind of undergraduate biologist, maybe BSc in botany, zoology, and they become successful entrepreneurs, leaders, and they are running the labs in all topmost institutes in India. So you can see these particular figures like MK1, who was regarded as the biological father of biotechnology in India. So he created some kind of DBT alliance in Stem Cell Institute here. Apart from these, we have K. Vijay Raghavan, Satyajit Mayer. These are the list of stalwarts who has contributed immensely to Indian biology. And once upon a time, they were the undergraduate biologists. They took up research, and they finally ended up being the leader. So this is just a motivational slide that any of you can also become this kind of experts if you take up research in future. I would like to highlight the importance of Kiran Majumdar sir, who is now heading the Biocom, Chairperson Biocom Limited. This is the topmost biotech industry that we have in India now. Okay, so and these are the list of major institutions and universities in India that are conducting biological research. So AIMS, all kind of IITs, then and they're also for online students at UG level. Most of you are welcome to so how can we take the particular research college or maybe in even Ramadevi University? So there has to be some kind of policy making. The Indian Institute of Science Education and Research with the focus research, and in their curriculum they have made some kind of scenario that in the first 2 years students will be exposed to basics like physics, chemistry, math and biology, and history of science as well as scientific writing. And when they reach to third and fourth years, they will be mostly focusing on some kind of military training and all kind of activities. But in the fifth year, it will be completely based on research thesis. This is at undergraduate level. So the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research has come up with this particular research-based undergraduate program, which is very much important, and it can define the shape of our research in Indian context. So if you talk about other colleges, Indian colleges, including Jawaharlal College, Patnagarh, there is a tremendous need to inculcate such kind of research orientation programs for undergraduate students, which is very much lacking in this kind of scenario. And we encourage our students by doing collaboration, doing programs, and all this kind of students on student research to a better height. In this paper, very recently, and I'm not going to talk about the details of it. Most of them will be finally undergo this kind of implementation very soon. So in that, there is one particular domain that is a key objective of NEP 2020 is that graduate and undergraduate research has to be an important criteria with focus on skill development and research component. So this particular new education policy 2020, the policymakers are somehow trying to story with research. So this is going to be implemented once student can choose a research undergraduate domain. So that will be very much helpful. So this was something that I wanted to say with regard to the education policy. Now a little bit talking about the opportunities that the undergraduate student researchers can have. They can do a lot of research from animal background, from plant background, and even in Odisha, we have a lot of research centers that can help uplift the research mindset of undergraduate biologists. They can also apply for some kind of internships in IITs, mostly every January to February, there will be advertisement for summer training. They can apply for all this undergraduate research. Then they can apply in TIFR. There is some kind of proposals one has to submit for TIFR lab to do some kind of undergraduate research. And the universities, I mean the college authority, I think principal sir must motivate the students to go to such institutions, and that will definitely also increase the IQAC index of your college. And there have been institutions like JNCAS that they mostly provide the undergraduate students for projects, and most of the CSR labs in IMT Bhubaneswar, maybe Hyderabad, and many discussed, they all on dissertations and some kind of project works. But from these colleges and universities like JNU, Central University, Hyderabad, Osmania University, they have been taking students. Importantly, private industries are all students. For example, Edila Farm, activities, they can do the research work or their dissertation, and once they complete the course, they can get absorbed also, so some kind of training or some kind of junior. But there are a lot available, particularly as Bhubaneswar, then lab the students can some research. What those have is that they can learn something at undergraduate and they can take it forward their make and can get jobs in society, whether the project will be helpful for the student itself, whether it can be developing some career side and all kind of things. So selecting the research advisor in the project is also very much important. So this was about igniting mindset in the undergraduate biologist. I would like to highlight some of my personal experience, how I became a academician or researcher from becoming an undergraduate biologist from Untitled College, Padhampur, where Dr. Misra was also a teacher, not my direct teacher, but he has been a friend of my father. And in those days, I was doing BSc in Zoology and from Sambalpur University. So that time also I was not having any exposure to research, but I tried my level best to reach MSc Life Science in Sambalpur University. And there I qualified all the all Indian tests like CSR, UGC, NET, JRF, then GATE, and all JNU entrance tests. So this kind of qualification has helped me to reach to top institutions across the globe. Like I first did my MTech in IIT Madras, then did my PhD there in stem cell and tissue engineering. So this was my curriculum part where I started my research career. I did my dissertation in biotechnology and did my PhD in tissue engineering at IIT Madras. And with this, I got a job also in a hospital, sorry, in Chennai, and mostly focusing on tissue engineering. And then I got opportunity to go to Portugal, where I did my postdoctoral research at 3B's Research Group. And finally, I ended up being a pure academician at Ramadevi Women's University, Bhubaneswar. So my research focuses mostly on stem cell, tissue engineering, bioartificial tissue and organ development, and nanobiotechnology. I'm now mostly focusing on plant-based therapeutic compound delivery for cancer therapy. So my focus is on liver tissue engineering, because when there is liver damage, we must somehow rescue the damaged liver. To that, we must somehow engineer a liver tissue in the lab. So I have focused on making different kind of liver tissue with a goal that my research will reach to patients someday. So I have taken stem cells. Stem cells are the cells present in our bone marrow or some kind of primitive cells. They have the capacity to make the liver cell types. So if we inject them to the damaged liver of hepatitis or maybe cirrhosis or some liver cancer. Yes. Anything, sir? Okay. So that's what I would like to say, that I have been focusing on liver tissue engineering, and I have been working on some kind of electrospinning scaffold, that is a nanofibrous scaffold where I seed my stem cells and I make liver kind of tissues. So this will be a little bit complicated for undergraduate students, but I just want to highlight that I use some kind of biotechnology principles for making the tissues. In this regard, I started my PhD at IIT Madras and also got an opportunity to go to Singapore, where I did all my PhD kind of research using tissue engineering. So I just want to say that if you have interest and if you have some kind of goals, you can reach anywhere in the world. There is no stoppage, there is no blockage that will hinder your success. So from a rural background like Anchal College Padampur with a zoology background, I could develop a research mindset, and I was having a goal in my mind that I will definitely do something with the stem cell and tissue engineering. And that particular dream landed me in Singapore and Germany and in Portugal. So this was somewhat like some kind of mindset that I developed. It was not possible with basic zoology, but yes, I got some kind of basic background in zoology and of course in botany that propelled me to take up research. So with this, I did some research to make liver tissues using patient cells, and this was published in some articles. If anyone is interested, I can share later. So I use some kind of scaffold to make this kind of liver tissues and also some kind of liver tumors to study some kind of disease. I would like to highlight also, because this webinar is mostly from the Department of Botany, that we also focused on some kind of nano-coated botanical scaffold. We used mushroom, like edible mushroom, whether this particular mushroom can be used as a scaffold for tissue replacement. So what we did is we decellularized this particular tissue and somehow coated with this nanofiber, and finally we put it into a sheep model, and finally we got success that it is well grafted and it is not being rejected. So we use something here, something called decellularization. So this is a botanical scaffold from mushroom that was useful for human application. Like, I mean, useful for animal application, which is a great, tremendous potential for human applications. Then I ended up in Portugal lab with some goals that I can do much more advanced research in my interest. And these are few of the snaps that I wanted to show that I work in a big lab. Mostly these are undergraduate students, including some PhD students and some professors. So there were a lot of undergraduate students in Portugal, unlike India. So they take up research as part of their career because they want to innovate, they want to file patents, they want to somehow consider that research is the ultimatum for any kind of things. So they take up research and they are mostly contributing to biological research. That's why I just wanted to put this slide here. And in this context, I did some kind of research to make some kind of liver cancer tissue. And this is one of the confocal microscopic image that I tried to make liver tissues, and this can be used for therapy. And this is the technique I use called microfluidics. I'm not going to go into details of this because it will be complicated. Just I want to show that research can be done at a high end also, if facility is there. And these are few of the tissues that I developed, and they are already published. We tried to put some drugs, and they are now mostly in some kind of clinical trials also. We can go further for their applications in humans if it is further approved. Nowadays, there is some kind of interesting research called bioprinting. So some students, if they are interested, they can definitely go for organ printing, which can completely replace a damaged liver or maybe a damaged heart or a lung. So this is an interesting area one can take up further to finally culminate in the society development, healthcare development, and many other issues. Finally, I ended up in Ramadevi Women's University, where I'm mostly involved in teaching and research. So here at Ramadevi University also, we have BSc in biotechnology, and the final year students of BSc biotechnology, they take up research. So they have a particular research project as dissertation. We always motivate them to take up research, and they can get a glimpse or a taste of what is research in biology. So we have been trying to foster this kind of activities in the mind of BSc students, and we are trying to develop labs at Ramadevi University in Odisha context. And in this scenario, I have been working at Ramadevi with one kind of plant-based derivative called gadolinium. This is from neem. So we have been taking some kind of anti-cancerous molecule called gadolinium, and this is known to have a lot of other activities like anti-malarial, anti-fungal, anti-allergic, anti-parasital, but I'm focusing on anti-cancer activity. Since it is a botany seminar, I just wanted to highlight only one research that I have been doing, mostly on this plant-based derivative. I am somehow putting into the nanofibrous scaffold, and I'm trying to kill some kind of liver cancer cells. So there are a lot of scopes, not only in botany or zoology, but can be some kind of interdisciplinary research involving biotechnological aspects, and we can take it forward. So there have been a lot of tremendous potentials we can definitely inculcate in the mind of undergraduate students. So in this regard, I took up one JRF students, and she is mostly working in the field of tissue engineering using that plant-based gadolinium. So I put this slide to just motivate the students of Jawaharlal College that these any students of botany can be somewhat eligible to take up these kind of jobs. They can get a fellowship of 31,000 per month, which is very good amount in considering in Bhubaneswar. So never feel that there is no scope for botany zoology in research. There have been lot of scopes, and I got a project grant of around 30 lakhs, which is now for 3 years, and we have been definitely trying to set up some kind of biological research at undergraduate level, and I'm going to take some of the students of UG level who can be somehow implementing this kind of research from botany, zoology, and biotech background, and finally we will make them somehow successful. In the last slide, I would like to thank all the participants who was patient enough to hear my talk with a little bit of disturbance. And I would like to thank my host organization, Ramadevi Women's University, previous research group where I carried my some of the important research work, and I was a principal investigator also, and the funding agencies like SCRB Startup Grant and the FCT in Portugal, who sponsored all my research, and most importantly, European Research Council grant that has helped me shape my career and transforming me from an undergraduate biologist from a rural Odisha background to be one of the researcher in this emerging field of tissue engineering and cancer nanotechnology using plant-based derivatives. With this, I would like to thank the organizers for allowing me to talk and be a resource person in this webinar. Thank you, sir.
Dilip, I have a
Yes,
query.
sir, please.
Will you please help us to set up a lab here so that you can have collaboration with us?
Definitely, sir. Will be glad. I'll be glad to be some kind of. I can be a helping hand. Definitely, sir. It will be. Yes.
Can we collaborate?
Definitely, sir. I'll be happy to collaborate. We can definitely start some kind of work that can be done.
Yes,
Yes, sir. We can write some project in collaboration.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I am ready to give some fund for this.
Definitely.
If
sir.
you can help us, then I will just request my colleagues in the Department of Botany and Zoology to
Sure,
start up. At least we can ignite the mindset of the students,
Sure,
because
sir.
at our time we don't have such exposures.
Exactly,
You are
sir.
well exposed, and I know you are very much talented one, and I feel that you'll be a very good academician also, and I think you will help us in wherever and whenever we ask for such a request. We'll be requesting you to ignite more the minds of the undergraduate students. As a teacher also, I like to talk very much. It's a very nice presentation, and you have also ignited my mind also. So
Thank you,
of course, I am a setting sun, but still I love biology and my biology students. So thank you for joining us, and hope
Thank you,
that in
sir.
future also you will join with us if we do such programs. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Participants, if you have any query, you can ask Professor BC. Any participants who
Good
want
morning,
to
all.
clear his query, you can
Hopefully,
discuss
I'm
with
audible.
Dr. BC.
This is good morning, Dr. Dilip. This is Jyoti Prakash Rath.
Good
Dr.
morning,
Jyoti,
sir.
Dr. Jyoti Rath calling from Centurion University. Actually, I enjoyed your talk to the last slide. To my
I I think got muted. Dr. Jyoti Prakash Rath, you got muted.
I
guess.
think, am I audible now?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So may I know the property of gladonin and why you have selected this one?
Yeah, gadolinium is a particular HSP90 inhibitor. If you know about the hits of protein 90, it is one of the protein that is mostly causing some kind of cancers, mostly in prostate cancer and other cancers. The role of HSP90 is to modulate cancer. So this particular molecule called gadolinium, that is a potent HSP90 inhibitor that is already available in the literature. This has been known to somehow block the activity of HSP90, and thereby it is successful in treating prostate cancer. So on this basis, I'm now trying to hypothesize whether it can be controlling the liver cancer also. So because of the time constraint, I didn't want to focus much details on the research part because the webinar is on undergraduate students. I just wanted to highlight the basics. And if you want to know more, definitely I can share more information personally. We can talk over it. And if you have any other questions, you can ask.
Thank you. And how far your generated tissue mimic the natural tissues?
Yeah, it cannot be exactly 100% replica of the natural tissue, but we are trying to see at least some kind of marker expression. I mean, the tissue specific cell expression, whether they are functional. For example, in case of liver tissues, whether they are somehow developing some cytochrome P450 system for drug metabolism. If those kind of functions are somehow happening, it is a very good sign. Of course, it is still in research context. It has not reached to clinics or to some kind of clinical trials. But we are hoping that if we fine tune this kind of activities in our tissue engineering, then it has got a great scope to treat some kind of damaged tissue, or it can replace at least some kind of damaged liver or any other organs. That's the hope we have as of now.
How far the stem cell research works in the bench side means from bench to bedside. So how far it translates?
Yeah, stem cells as such is a just specialized cells. So it is mostly in a sleepy state inside our body. So when you take these particular stem cells, there have been different kind of stem cells. So if you just want to damage, replace some kind of damaged tissue, a sleepy cell may not be working that efficiently. But there are some new categories of stem cells called as induced pluripotent stem cells, which are somewhat like good kind of stem cells in research now, and they are able to make any kind of tissue that you can think of. Like it can make brain, it can make liver with all kind of functionality. And now people are trying to make organoids. Organoids means some kind of small tissue chunks made with this kind of induced pluripotent stem cells. So I cannot say about reaching to the bedside now. People have been trying to treat different kind of diseases, particularly Parkinson's and all. They have been trying in United States, and they have got some initial success. So we hope in another 5-10 years, if all the ethical issues and all are cleared, this can be a great success story with the stem cells.
And how far
Thank you.
gladonin stand good against the market drug?
Yeah, market drug is that is already like that is definitely going to give you some kind of acute response. So those acute responses are definitely done with market drugs. So suppose you have a heart disease, you take some kind of pills, suddenly you are getting recovered next day. So that is a best scenario with the marketed drugs. But if you talk about a stem cell alternative to those disease, so there is some kind of difference. Stem cell is not going to recover the damaged tissue in one day. It will take definitely some kind of 3 months, maybe 6 months, depending upon the damage. And one day it may completely recover the damaged tissue, which is not possible with the marketed drugs.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And what are the markers you are looking at?
I'm looking at markers like albumin expression and cytochrome activities, drug metabolism, which are very much important for liver. I'm not focusing on other tissues. My main focus is on liver. And in this context, I have been focusing on these particular markers, mostly alpha fetoprotein. That is, for suppose I want to make a liver tumor in the lab, just to see how the tumors are developing in the patients. So if I want to study that, I must look for some markers like alpha fetoprotein. So all these things, depending upon the need, I have been looking for those kind of markers.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
Dilip.
sir. Any other questions?
May I also, because we have say second resource person, he is waiting for us. So let us wind up here, and we'll be interested to know more from Dr. BC in future time to come. Again, here I have a request to Jyoti Prakash Rath. Are you listening me, Jyoti Prakash Rath?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Will you please collaborate few webinars with us?
Of course, sir.
Then let us go for a joint webinar of Jawaharlal College and Centurion University
Of course.
as early as possible. Okay, so much, Dr. BC. Now
Thank you,
it
sir.
is time for thank you. It is time for the second resource person to speak to the audience, and I request Professor Jayant Barik of our Department of Botany, to introduce our student, Mr. Mahanti, who will be speaking just now, Mr. Jayant Barik.
Good morning to all the dignitaries in the dais and all our dear participants. Thank you, Dr. D.K. BC sir. It's a wonderful talk for the youngster to ignite their mind to the biology field and in research progress. I am Jayanta Kumar Barik, lecturer in botany. Happy to introduce the second resource person of our today's webinar, Mr. Santanu Kumar Mohanty. He happens to be an alumnus, as our principals are told, and one of my close friends. As for the talk of Dr. BC, he can be an exemplary today. He completed his MSc in biotechnology from Bangalore University and executive MBA from XLRI Jamshedpur. He is a clinical research professional and has worked on various healthcare projects with various companies like Accenture, Parexel, Novartis, just like Biocon, as told by BC sir. Presently, he is working as project manager in Cytel India, located in Hyderabad. He will be delivering his speech on why biology, followed by a subtopic, vaccine in India, a boon or a bane. Mr. Mohanty, please continue your session. Thank you.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Before I start, I mean, to Devra sir and Lakshman sir, you have been my teacher, and because of you, I'm here. So my salutation and namaste to both of you. I must say thanks to Jawaharlal College as an institution, because of which I am here. Professor Panda, Professor Bhui, and thanks Jayanta for collaborating and giving me an opportunity here. So before, again, I must thank, I should not forget thanking Dr. Bisi. It was really an exciting talk. And I think the days are past on which I can go back to the days and come back to the research frame again. But definitely, yes, it will give a lot of seeds into the brains of kids to go into the research field. So thank you so much. Now let me share my screen, and then we can quickly go through what I have thought of to share with you today. Let me know once my screen is viewable. So despite how much ever we try for science, biology, whatnot, but in front of technology, we are all crippled. Excuse me if we have any technical failures, and in between if it is not viewable to you. So is it clear now? Jayanta, can you have a quick check? Professor Jayanta, is it clear now?
It has not yet appeared here.
Okay.
Presentation is there. Yes, you are visible, but presentation is not yet visible to me.
Okay. 1 second. Is it now viewable?
Yes, yes, it is coming.
All right. All right. Great. Thank you. Okay. So it's why biology. Maximum of this has been covered by Professor Bisi actually, because and I'll just quickly brush through it, and will definitely give some insights on vaccines in India, which got started today. And this is a quick self-introduction from education. After completing my 10+2, I'm your college student. After completing my 10+2 at Jawaharlal College, I completed my graduation in botany from Rajendra College, Balangir, followed by MSc in biotechnology at Bangalore University. And then I started my professional career, did my executive MBA from XLRI Jamshedpur. So for my profession is concerned, I started with Accenture, worked for pharmaceutical companies in Accenture like White. It is now merged with Pfizer. So pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, many of you would have definitely injected to your kids for pneumonia. So I have worked in that vaccine. Novartis, I have worked in the Galvus, which is a diabetic drug. And I worked in Novartis for around 8 years, initially as a data manager, and then as a scientific operations manager, where I was responsible for quality and audit of the entire data operations team. Then I was with Paraxel International in Hyderabad as a data operations lead, where I was taking care of all the deliverables for few clients. Like I worked with Merck and Biocon. And then I am with Cytel, currently working with Cytel, and working with few of the companies. So as per the current company policy, I can't expose the name of the clients. And this is my family. I have a family of 6, my parents, and my 2 beautiful daughters, my wife. Thank you. Coming back to why biology, the topic that I would like to cover and give a quick glance is the application of biology, biology and the world, and you and biology. So guys, I mean, students, you already know many things, and in front of my professors I don't dare to talk to you and teach you biology, because it'll be very pivotal in that case. So I'll just tell you what is application biology and how it will be helpful for the world as well as for you. So I'm sure there are two things. You are into biology, there are two terminologies, but biology, its opposite is mathematics. Can you tell me that what are the two terminologies which are similar but very effective both in biology as well as in mathematics? Okay, so let me quickly tell you. This is one is division and another one is multiplication. So these two things you will find in biology as well as in mathematics, and both have impact. So division, as you know, cell division, and multiplication, DNA multiplication. Okay, so with all those research and advanced biological techniques, the application of biology has been more phenomenal, especially in the 21st century. Basically, in the field of agriculture, when we go, we know that how this has been helpful to us, especially in soybeans, sugar beet, when we have herbicide tolerant, pesticide tolerance, stress tolerant crops are being yielded today due to the help of application biology. Drought tolerance, that's something pretty interesting, that when some area gets affected by the drought, basically people do not get food. But with the help of biology, we have been injecting and making the plant drought tolerance, so that with very less water also this can grow up and it can feed the people. Second one, as you all know, biotechnology. Biotechnology has been a boon to the society on either way. So I will not, I'm just going to focus on the advantages today. Biotechnology, starting from genetic engineering, your recombinant DNA technology, all those advanced things you will find in biotechnology. Fisheries science, the different breeds of fishes. Nowadays you will do uh, the there will be several fishery ponds. You will find people have actually got this as a profession these days, as a primary profession these days, to acquire a pond and do fishing in that, in which they can grow some livelihood, give some occupation to people who are in search of the job, and earn some handsome amount. Forestry always has been helpful to the society to maintain the equilibrium within the environment. Animal husbandry, as I said, this is actually being when we apply the advanced biology and give the required antibiotics and required tolerant anti-infectants to the kettles or the kettle sets or the households, the product that will get, you will get the high productivity from them, hygienic products from them. So that will help you, for a healthy society. In between, I'll just have a quick check because I know there are many technical failures happening. Uh, Professor Jayanta, I think it is audible. Hello.
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Yes, it is audible.
Thank you.
I muted mine.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Next, coming back to medicine. So this is the biggest advantage to the society and the biggest blessings. Can others mute the line?
Yeah, it's me.
Eh, Yeah, I'm sorry. So the medicine, this has been the biggest gift of biology, and especially the application biology. So when biology joins hands with chemistry, it gives the biggest gift of the world for surviving and fighting against the disease, that is the medicine. Okay, so I'll not get into all those details because time is not there. I'll mainly focus on something which will come at the end. I'll come back to you. My next point is biology and the world. So these are basic things. These are few basic points which actually shows how biology and we are related. Everything in the entire world that you see today in front of you, apart from the man-made things, are all nature's gift. And you know that last year nature gave us a befitting reply of our supremacy. Okay, it showed us what we are in front of it. So if we take what biology is, I can indirectly term is as the nature. So how it has impacted to the world in a positive way: the genetics and advanced agricultural techniques to enhance the food security. So biology is feeding you the necessity nutrients. You are getting the good food, the hygienic food you are getting to keep yourself healthy. That is a gift of biology to you. Understands the human body to treat diseases. These days, all white collar jobs, people are not interested for a stressful job. All are looking for a white collar job, and with that white collar job, they are fighting with their internal antibodies to fight against the diseases. But despite of that also, BP and sugar, these are kind of a gift to all. So maximum around at least 60% of the population who are more than 35 to 40 years of age are now suffering from BP and diabetes, as per the last year's survey by Abbott Pharmaceuticals in Hyderabad. Second is reducing the global warming. Global warming, you all know, the ozone layer depletion because of high pollution. So biology and the forestry helps us in reducing the global warming. Population control through various contraceptives. See the points I'm catching here. This is the way how it is helping the society. Population control through various contraceptives. Again, the pills and all those things. Earlier, this was not a concept. So the population explosion used to happen. But these days, and in Mahabharata era, 100 kids. So those things hopefully are getting stopped these days. So this is also helpful to the society. People who are using is helping for the population control in explosive countries like India and China. Outdoor recreation. This is something very interesting, which is apart from your regular biological link. You always see 7 months under lockdown. How did you feel? Pathetic, right? And when you got some breathe in the month of October and November, you tried exploring the nature. You went into the water, you went into the jungles, and that's what the recreation gave. That is the most important things which give you the mental peace. So biology, starting from scratch to the end of your satisfaction, is giving you everything. Okay, now time comes what you can give to the biology. Am I audible, Jayanta?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Thank you. You and biology. Now, I've made my slides pretty simple for you so that you can understand, you can catch it. And I've not put a lot of data into it because it will be very difficult otherwise, because I'm trying, I know I'm addressing the graduate students. And guys, I mean, tell me how many of you have really joined graduation with an interest of doing graduation, and with an interest of learning botany or zoology, or with an interest of doing a research. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying, like me, I was someone who did not qualify for the medical examinations, and then I joined graduation. Some of you might love biology, so you joined graduation under CBZ. Some of you do not like mathematics. That's the reason you joined biology CBZ. You're forced to do. Okay. Some of you don't know what to do, so let's join CBZ. Right? That's not the story, guys. Entire world is open for you. Okay. As Professor BC said here, and gave you an insight of what and all you can get if you go for biology. Entire research world is opening for you, and that's the only way you can gift to the society. Let me tell you, you can repay the debt of your parents up to some extent, but you can never ever try to repay the debt that you have got from the nature. But there is a way. If you give your entire soul and interest into it, definitely you can do something to through the nature to the society. Okay. So there are many professions. Doctor, the scope is out for you, I believe, because all of you are graduate students. Chemist, definitely yes. You have an opportunity. And let me tell you one thing. Whatever you do at your best. If you are doing at your best with interest, whatever you do, no profession is a low profession. Okay. So everywhere, if you are giving your best, you are getting best out of it. Trust me. Chemist, pharma professionals. I'll come to this point later because I'm a pharma professional. Bioengineering. I hope all of you understand what bioengineering is. Bioengineering is, as I said, gave you an example of company Abbott, who just creates your petri dish, pipette, burettes, and all. So what happens is, when technology is helping to create technology to help a biology, is bioengineering. Okay, simple terms. So they help to create things through which we can do the research and development in biology and advanced biology. Environmentalists, you all know. Scientists, as Professor Bisi is there, he said many doctors are there who have been giving their life for science and giving us all new innovations. Teacher, the best gift, I would say, to the society. So biology, being a biologist, you are getting enormous opportunities. Okay, what in addition you need to do to get what you want. So I know, let me be very honest with all of you students. It's not always very easy to choose a career. And somebody like us, see, there are two programs. Someone once told me, earlier we had 3 years educational policy, 5 years educational policy. Later in the middle, it came the 4 years educational policy. And this is after 10th. Okay. So people used to believe that the actual education is either 3 years educational policy or 5 years educational policy. The 4-year educational policy, the engineers and the doctors are actually lethal. Yes, absolutely. So they are the gifts, but we are in the second zone of 5 years educational policy. So after this, what we are going to do? We have options. Never get demotivated. Okay. There are many fields. If you are interested, go with your interest. That is what I would like to say. If you are interested, go for research field, do a proper master's into the section you are interested, either biochemistry or biotechnology or molecular biology, whatever. Go for master's, then try for CSIR, get the PhD research and all those things, and you will be there where you want. Second, for those who do not get that luxury to qualify these examinations, or if you are not interested, because everyone doesn't have a patience to go to to study for a long time. There are options that you can opt for jobs. Okay, so there are many industries, pharma industries are there looking for you. So the kind of work that we do, clinical research, okay, I hope all of you understand. If not, we can definitely set up another seminar where I can tell you about drug development and on clinical research part. So this is not basically that. So there, what you will do is you will know how the medicine comes to the market, how the entire drug development happens. Okay, before 2002, the concept of clinical research was very pivotal. But later on, as the work developed, the electronic system developed, it becomes now popular, and all the companies now adopt the maximum companies now adopt the clinical research. Okay, and they invest. Many companies, you won't believe, the drug companies invest 60 to 70% of their revenue into the research work to give a medicine. Now, the patent of one medicine is 20 years for you. And earlier, 12 to 14 years it was taking till the phase 4 marketing. Before the medicine comes to the market, 14 years is gone. And that patent period covers that 14 years as well. So the company will have just 5 to 7 years to do their sales and get the revenue. Okay, so those things happens. So guys, note down a couple of points. Go for, whenever you are completing your graduation, if after graduation you would like to go for a job, get some certification into clinical research or drug safety, and along with that do a course on coding. Okay, these two things, not the white hat junior that you are seeing in the TV, sorry, the actual coding, and do a course on clinical research. These two things. Apart from that, SAS, you must be aware of technology. So these 2 or 3 things, put this in your resume. It will be helpful for you to get a good job, start your career in a good company. Okay. Now coming to the vaccine in India, a boon or a bane. COVID-19, as I said, it thrust the entire world last year. So I will not get into the biologics of COVID-19 a lot, because I have actually delinked myself from the actual biology from last 15 years. I'm in the industry from 15 years now. Now, why vaccine and vaccine in India? That's basically the topic. Congratulations, India, as India starts the vaccination drive today. COVID-19, giving you, since you guys are biology students, I'm linking you to the zoological classification of the COVID-19. Realm, Riboviria. Kingdom, Orthonaviridae. Phylum, Pisuviricota. Class, Pinociviridae. Order, Nidovirales. Family, Coronaviridae. And subfamily, Orthocoronavirinae. Not rocket science. Just telling you, I have taken it from Google, Wikipedia. Thank you. So, and basically giving you a quick glimpse on COVID-19, it's a RNA double-stranded virus. Okay. So if you look into the details of it, you will get it. It's a RNA double-stranded virus, started from Wuhan city on 31st December 2019. And this is not the first coronavirus. Let me tell you, coronaviruses has been there in the society from years. 2002, 2004, 2007, we had coronavirus, but the strains were different. Here, this strain, those were MERS-CoV virus, some were SARS-CoV virus, and this is SARS-CoV-2 virus. So the strain here is actually highly spreading, little lethal. Okay, so here if you see, the global rate of death is just 2%, which is not that high, but since the volume of infectants were high, it became a pandemic. Okay, so a quick statistics there. Total cases 10.5 million in India, recovered 10.1 million, and death 152,000. That's a lot. Worldwide, it has impacted a lot. This is a quick statistics on a rise and fall of the corona cases day by day in India. And giving you one quick things, there are 4 types of this SARS-CoV-2 virus: alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. So basically, the alpha and beta infects the mammals, and gamma and delta that affects the birds. And basically, this coronavirus is a beta coronavirus category. Am I audible, Jayanta?
Yes, you're audible.
Thank you.
I'm listening to you.
Thank you. Impact of COVID-19 and need of a vaccine. So guys, I mean, impact you all know, right? The global economic impact, like price wars, stock market crash, job loss. What did not happen? I mean, did you ever imagine that such kind of a day will come where the entire world will be locked down? No. Migrant worker crisis in India that led multiply the crisis a lot. Severe damage to aviation, food, entertainment, tourism, and supply chain industry. Loss of life. What can be more lethal than that? Political crisis on countries where pandemic was not handled carefully. This pandemic turned the government, turned the table itself. Okay. Now, how the vaccine works and how this antigen antibody concept, you guys know this, right? So there is you have an innate when a new pathogen or disease enters into your body, it introduces a new antigen. So you have an intact antibody in you, but when a foreign antigen which you do not know through its spike protein enters into your body, it creates infection in you. Okay, and then we need to try and enhance the capacity of the internal antibody that we have to grab the antigen and kill the disease. So basically, that's the concept of the vaccine. And how many days the world will go with masks and sanitizer? It is difficult, right? I mean, these days, while taking a cert, I'm taking a mask. So you have been such habituated with that these days, last week when I got a cloth for my daughter, a mask was free in that, I mean, which was matching to the dress. So this is how it has impacted the psychology of India, psychology of globe, psychology of the market, in fact. So that's all. I mean, quickly, I just summarized you through biology, how biology has helped you, how you can get help from the society and biology, get a job, COVID-19, how it affected. Now, the most debated thing in India, that vaccines in India and whether it is good or bad, whether we should take vaccine or not. As I said, congratulations that India starts vaccination today. So 2 vaccines in India got approved. Okay, I'm not saying that whatever information I'm giving you the entire detailed information. I might be missing some information, but definitely I can come back to you if there is any specific question. So there are two vaccines. One is Covishield and one is Covaxin. For Covishield, I have I know I have interacted with people who have worked in this vaccine as statistician. Okay, because when I take the responsibility of a data operations team, I take care of statistician as well, and I have my friends working in other companies who have worked in this particular vaccine. So I have a little bit of data for you. So as the basic difference between Covishield and Covaxin is the Covishield is basically AstraZeneca driven vaccine which is worked by the scientists from Oxford University, and the production partner is Serum Institute Pune. Serum Institute Pune is the largest vaccine provider in India. So they tied up with Serum Institute to get the to get the business from Indian region, Indian subcontinent. Okay. Efficacy rate after dose 1 is 70%, and after dose 2 it 94%, as claimed by Covishield. I mean, as claimed by AstraZeneca, Oxford and Serum Institute. Benefits is 1 crore dose procured by government for the tier 1 of vaccination, which will be given to the frontline workers and warriors. And result of all 3 phases are out. 3 phases of clinical trials, I mean, are out. So basically, there are 2 things. I'm sure people who are aware of clinical trial, they are aware of phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4 trials. So if whoever are not aware, let me quickly tell you. The bovine generation, I mean, earlier generally phase 1 used to happen with animals and all those things. Gone are those days. Okay. So now the phase 1 happens with healthy volunteers. Okay. Phase 1 clinical trial, be it any medicine or any vaccine, it helps with healthy volunteers, and the sample size is less. Sample size, for those who do not understand this statistical terminology, sample size is the number of people taking part, number of healthy volunteers taking part in the in the trial. Okay. Phase 2 is where the diseased population is taken into consideration, but the sample size is less, around 30 to 40. Okay, this is the number of people which will be considered for the phase 2 clinical trial. And phase 3, again diseased population, where the volume is high, sample size is high. Okay, now what is the difference between phase 2 and phase 3? Here sample size is less, sample size is more, but the basic difference is phase 2 happens for safety parameter check, and phase 3 happens for safety and efficacy parameter check, right? So basically phase 1, when it does not impact the healthy volunteers, there is no adverse effect, that's fine. Let's I mean, we have cleared it, fine. Let's go to phase 2, and if we know that it is safe and there is no problem in terms of getting any side effect with this particular population, phase 2 is cleared. Phase 3 is the real challenge, where efficacy is assessed, that how much efficient this particular medicine against the disease that we are targeting. Basically, for drugs, it is fine to have phase 3 as efficacy as a parameter, but for vaccine, efficacy cannot be a parameter. Okay, people tell that efficacy 70%, 94%, that is fine, but here it is a secondary parameter. However, in case of vaccine, immunogenicity is taken into consideration, that how your immune system is getting increased with the help of this particular vaccine. Okay, so Covishield, as I said, it is properly 16,000 patients. The phase 3 data was done with 16,000 patients. Okay, across the world, no side effects. There were 2 instances where issues happened. One at UK, there was some neuro issue happened. So people raised questions on this vaccine, but actually that was not clinically significant. Clinically significant means that particular neuro issue had a different medical history that did not have any link with this particular vaccine. Another one is in Brazil, one death happened. That was a cardiac arrest, not due to this vaccine. So this vaccine Covishield, the feedback that I have received, again, I'm not certifying, DCGI already approved this drug. The feedback that I have received, Covishield is safe to take. Okay. Covaxin. Covaxin is a completely Atmanirbhar Bharat, right? The Bharat Biotech's based out at Hyderabad, it's a complete indigenous vaccine. Efficacy as claimed by the CEO of Bharat Biotech, it's 100%. 3 lakhs doses as compared to 1 crore doses of Covishield. 3 lakhs doses has been procured by the government because it is just for emergency usage. Now, why emergency usage and why so much of hues and cries behind this particular vaccine? Because the data unavailability for phase 3. Yes. The result for phase 2 data is out. Phase 3 is under progress. But before phase 3 data collection, DCGI was approached by Bharat Biotech and they approved it. Okay, so this is why the question is there, that why did they approve? I am not getting into any political vendetta. As a clinical research professional, what I can say is this was actually a premature move to approve this. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, but some surrounding sound is coming.
Okay, now it is fine.
Sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So yeah, I'm yet to close. I'm just I have very less time left. So I'll be done soon. But let me complete here. This Covaxin, as I said, the phase 2 data is ready. Phase 3 team is working on. Bharat Biotech is working on phase 3, but it was a premature approval by DCGI or Government of India, whoever, due to whatever reason. I do not know why that was done. Because Covishield, we had sufficient doses, around 1 crore dose was there. They could have simply told the company to provide an interim data of phase 3, because we do not know without the data and without the data, basically, who will take the accountability, who will take the responsibility if any side effect happens. If by taking this vaccine, because the sample size was low for phase 2, this was the target zone was very less. But now when it will be given across India, who knows to whichever segment of the people, if they are diabetic or hypertensive, if this vaccine is given, if any ultra action happens, who will be responsible? Because these things are yet to come to the market. So I'm just giving you the data of Covaxin based on the data available in the public domain. Okay. But yes, definitely something good is happening, and it is not an easy task to give 2 vaccines within a span of 7 to 8 months in a developing country like India. So congratulations to India, congratulations to the scientists and biologists of India. 2 more vaccines, one from Moderna and one from Pfizer, that also, which is in full swing in US market, did not hit the Indian market, could not be approved in India because of 2 reasons. One is they did not conduct the clinical trial with Indian population. This is a very important thing. For any particular medicine or vaccines to be approved in any particular country, the vaccine or medicine has to be trialed in that particular country with that population, with that race and specific origin. So Moderna and Pfizer did not conduct their trial in India. That was the first reason. Second reason is the logistic of those 2 vaccines, because the storage needed minus 70 degrees centigrade to be effective. So in India, being in India, it is very difficult to provide minus 70 degrees centigrade to a larger volume of vaccines for storage. Serum Institute Pune has the has the maximum facility, because the temperature there is minus 30 degrees centigrade. That's the lowest in India for storage of any vaccines or medicines, whatever. Okay, minus 30 degree. I entered into that room once. Okay, when I visited Serum Institute Pune, I entered into that chamber once. I could not sustain there for more than 10 seconds. Okay, so that's the reason the vaccine is not there. Moderna and Pfizer vaccines are not approved in India. I think I'm done for the moment. The time is also over. It was 30 minutes. Otherwise, I could have prepared something more for you, and I'm open for questions.
Thank you, Shantanu. Thank you for giving a brief idea of your experience to influence the youngster biologist. You have disclosed few points regarding the COVID-19 that some of us are yet to be aware of. I hope you will definitely step forward to guide our students who are interested to give or get into the field of clinical research. Thank you, Santanu. Thank you very much. It's open for the
Thank you.
query session.
Yes, yes, Dr. Santanu. Yes, Santanu, for a nice presentation. I congratulate you to ignite the young minds. Hopefully, I'm audible there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so I have little bit queries. I have quick pop with 2 or 3 queries, if you allows me.
Definitely.
So
I'll try
may I know?
answering it.
May I know, means to walk into the clinical research field, the CRO and all, what are the, may you please list out some of the institute where clinical research masters is being allowed, means degrees awarded?
Yeah, so basically, one is in Bangalore, which is actually um, Indian Clinical Research, ICRI Bangalore. So that is the most famous one, and the certification values. Apart from that, there are smaller organizations or smaller universities who are actually other universities who tenders this course either through online mode, or you can go and directly. I did it from Catalyst Institute in Delhi. That's a smaller entity. So basically, you can definitely Google it. ICRI is something which is the most prominent one, and apart from that, many institutes currently are giving this course.
So what is the cost of the course, and what is the expectation of salary for the students? And the new
That's
journeys, whether any experience is required for CRO, or it is a new journey you can join there. And of course, you have did if you look into the bio sketch, if you have done a MBA as well. So is it essential to be a MBA, or anybody can walk into the CRO?
Okay, good question. With respect to the cost part, I'm not sure, because when I did it was very pivotal age, but now I'm not sure on the cost part. Definitely, we can inquire on that. ICRI at that time used to cost around 3.5 to 4 lakhs for a 1-year course back in 2006. So when it comes to getting a job, MBA is not at all mandatory. I did it after joining the course, after joining my job. After 4 years of my job, I did my executive MBA. So that is not actually that important for them to get into the job. But yes, after getting into the job, for an excel in career, you need to have yourself upgraded always. Currently, also I am doing a course in data science and artificial intelligence. So this learning never ends. Whenever, how much ever experienced we are, if we are not upgrading ourselves, the new market champs will hit us. So so as I said, getting into the job is does not require an MBA. As I said, a course on clinical research, a coding, plus SaaS knowledge, these three things can ensure you a job in companies like CROs, like Parexel, Quintiles, Cytel, PPDs, and all those CROs are there. Apart from that, BPOs like Accenture, TCS, and Cognizant. They hire freshers. Basically, freshers are being hired by TCS, Accenture, and Cognizant in Mumbai and Bangalore. These are,
And
I'm just giving, yeah.
what is the package expectation one student should look for?
It depends on the profile you are getting into, because in this field, in clinical research, we have many profiles into data management, database programming, statistical programming, safety, and all. So basically, you can expect a salary initial range around 3.3 to 3.5 to 4 lakhs per annum. That's the initial one you can expect.
Okay, and then I'm working to the, of course, and whether it is all means outbound of Odisha, or anybody can expect in capital city as well. Any CRO has started in Bhubaneswar?
I wish, I was telling to Devraj sir this last year. So I wish any state government give an opportunity, because from last 9 months I'm lucky to be in Balangir and work from home. But if anything comes to Bhubaneswar, I'll be the first one to celebrate. So I'm not sure when this is going to happen in Odisha. But yes, as I said, I'm telling you the areas: Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, and Mumbai. These are the 5 places, and Ahmedabad, I'm sorry. So these are the 6 places where people with clinical research can get job at this point.
And looking at the scientific presentation you had made, so I have a little bit, I'm a little bit skeptic about Covishield and Covaxins, because both are wholesale vaccine. So as against the Moderna and Pfizer mRNA vaccines. So whether this wholesale vaccine, it will generate any disease conditions or so, because this is a virus, weekend virus.
Um, I can't ensure you, but as per the data I have received, it has see, whenever any medicine into the market, it goes with the data, and the data we have in the public domain and the data I have received. Phase 3, as I said, 16,000 patient it got conducted for Covishield, and there were no major issues after the vaccines were given. So how the vaccine is given in phase 3 is different from that of phase 2, because it is different from that of drugs. So medicine generally we give it to the diseased people in phase 2 and phase 3, but vaccine is completely a different sector. It cannot be given to the diseased people, so it is generally given to the vulnerable segment. So phase 2 and phase 3, the vaccine was administered to diabetic, to older generation, people having kidney issues, people having asthma, the kids. All those things were injected to them, and the success rate has been there. So I can't actually confirm you that nothing will happen, but as per the data, I can say this is safer.
And the cold chain management is again another issue. And mRNA means your Pfizer and Moderna means Moderna is well. I believe that it will work nicely. Whether Pfizer require a minus 20 degree for storing the vaccine. Of course, both these candidate Covishield and Covaxins maybe minus.
Hello.
Cold storage management things.
Covishield and Covaxin.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
now it
yes.
is audible, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hello.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir, you are audible. Am I audible?
Yes,
So,
sir.
Okay.
of course.
Okay. Yeah. I got your
So,
query.
may I repeat the question, or?
No, I got your answer. I got your question. So Covishield and
Okay,
Covaxin does
please.
not, Covishield and Covaxin does not need a high refrigerator, low temperature. So it is okay with your normal refrigerator, or Covaxin, as they claim, is also okay in room temperature. Covishield in refrigerator is fine, not a problem. So it may also work in normal room temperature, but they did not try with that. Covaxin, they have tried with normal temperature and they claim that the efficacy rate is 100%. So that kind of facility India has, and India has already procured 1 crore doses for Covishield at a rate of 200 per vaccine, because this is the burden is taken by the government. After the first tier of vaccination, the cost of that particular Covishield vaccine will be around 1,000 rupees for us to buy in the market.
And whether this vaccine will be effective against the second strain, that is quite alarming in Britain as well as China.
As per the data we have received, the new strain of vaccine is not that deadly. I mean, it has they say that it spreads a lot, but it is not that fatal as the earlier strain used to be. So I hope and I expect that this vaccine should work against that also, and that's what the companies too claim, that they have considered more than 100 strains of coronavirus, because coronavirus has many strains, and India got around 36 or 38 strains when India got affected. So there are many strains they have tested against it. Hopefully we can expect, and this is just under a ray of hope to get out of this big crisis. We can expect good things.
Yes, this ray of hope, I believe it will become beam of hopes. So again, maybe allowed one more question. So here, as we have seen in this COP2, it starts with pangolin and bats, and then switch to human. So similarly, I am a little bit skeptic whether the bird flu now vivid in Indian context, whether they will mutate and go to the COP2.
Yeah, we can't ignore the possibilities, especially when there is, as I said, mutation, multiplication, and division. We can't rule out the possibilities, but we can just go ahead. I think the worst we have seen, and I don't think those kind of things should be repeated. But again, nature is the player, and we are just dolls in front of it.
Okay, thank you, Santanu. Thank you for the query, Ratha Dada. Shall we
Sir, thank you.
proceed with the presentation?
Thank you,
Due to
sir.
the lack of time. Okay. May I request Aarti madam?
Okay.
Yes. Please give a vote of thanks.
Okay. Good afternoon to all of you. Esteemed head of the institution, respected resource persons, and dear participants, it gives me immense pleasure to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of the institution. First of all, my sincere thanks to Dr. D.K. Bishi for his insightful talk and wonderful presentation. Definitely, after listening your presentation, sir, our students will choose the path that is the research and the path of research and innovation. I extend my deepest gratitude to Sri S.K. Mohanty for his knowledgeable, relevant, and informational talk. We are grateful to both of our resource persons for being extremely cooperative and being with us in this webinar. Thank you very much, sir. We must thank our principal for his constant inspiration and support. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the Department of Botany and the members of the IQAC team, and also my colleague, Professor Gyaneshwar Kheti, for his technical support. Okay. And in the end, I am extremely thankful to each and every participants for joining us today and making the program successful. Thank you again and have a good day. I now, on behalf of as our principal, due to some official engagement, our principal is right now not in this meeting. So on behalf of our principal, I now declare the meeting is over. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.